I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everyone, welcome to the NXT After Show. I'm Emily May. We're gonna break down this amazing show that happened tonight. We got the Queen is in the house. We got the Cruiserweights, the Undisputed Era. There's so much happening. But I'm not alone.
No, you're not.
No, I am not alone. I hope not. All right, to my left, I got the King, Jim Alexander.
Oh, I know. I get a clap. That's pretty good.
Woo!
I think it should be a stable
Golf clap.
Yeah, you know it's me. Get more from me next after David introduces himself.
Awesome, and then also next to him, I have David Christopher.
Yes, David Punk Rock Christopher. What's going on, guys? How you doing? Good to be back with you guys. How's everyone feeling tonight?
Yeah, you're the one half of the AfterBuzz Wrestling Recap Tag
Team Champions of the World.
Oh, we miss Flobo. He's out and
Yes.
about fighting crime, but
Yes.
he'll be back again next week. We miss him too.
Hopefully.
Shout out to you, Flo.
Let's see,
Shout
moved
out.
on to better things.
All right, so we had such a crazy night tonight. There's so many people, like Charlotte showed up. We have so much to break down. We have some Velveteen Dreams happening.
Yes.
And we have Bobby Fish fishing for fish. Something's happening.
How much fish could
How many
Bobby
fish can
fish?
Bobby Fish fish if Bobby
A fish
Fish could fish?
Something like that, yes.
Something like that. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah. There you go.
So we're gonna break it down. First, we start off with this big promo. We got the BroserWeights in a golf cart. They come out with the Dusty Rhodes Classic trophy in this beautifully decorated cart, and Dunne comes out. We got Riddle and Undisputed Era shows up.
I'm just first off, I want to say I love this team with Dunne and Riddle. Just the way they have such a good time with each other. I mean, Riddle's whole attitude, man, is just so fun. It's
Polar
just,
opposites.
Yeah, exactly. But it just works somehow. It's weird but cool at the same time. And I just love how they just keep giving Undisputed Era a hard time. They come out there all riled up, ready to fight, and you got Matt Riddle just kind of whoa, guys, just making fun of him. I love that whole vibe.
Matt Riddle's like, oh, I'm really cool, and then Pete Dunne's like,
let's get to business.
Yeah,
but
let's get
it's
to
still cool. Yeah.
What do you think?
Enjoy it while
This
it lasts.
beginning, this is like the
this
beginning. They start chanting. They have this chant about the fishing, and they're ready. So
I
what
can
do you
take
think?
over here. This is the beginning of a turn. That's what's going to happen. We're going to get hopefully not SummerSlam. A WrestleMania weekend takeover. I think it's going to be Riddle versus the Bruiserweight. I think that's where it's setting up to.
Yeah.
They might even win the titles. They kind of should, actually.
I think they should.
Yeah, I think they should, because it's so stay on Undisputed Era. Those guys have had it for so long. Take the titles off to make it seem like they're an actual tag team, and then when the turn happens, it's going to be that much more impactful.
I think so, too. I mean, Mania, that's pretty soon, though. Do you think, if they do win the titles, do you think it's going to be that soon to have the turn?
Yeah, because, they win the titles, what is it, next Sunday? Right? So you're going to have at least a month and a half to kind of build this, a tag team thing, and maybe they'll drop it surprisingly, and then a turn happens. Yeah, you can totally build it. You have enough time to actually, because they already been through the tournament together, so we kind of believed in this team now.
They've already built up
they have a gimmick, they have the card,
yeah.
they have the trophy, so they're building enough to us believe and kind of ride with them, and the turn will be surprising.
Well, let me ask you this, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not to cut you off, Em. If Riddle or the BroserWeights win the title and they carry it for say a month and a half, who do you think would be a suitable team to take the titles from them?
You see, I don't. Maybe you give it back to the Undisputed Era for now.
Give it back to you.
No.
A rematch. I hope it doesn't happen, but how many viable tag teams do we really have right now? In NXT that are, or maybe someone like Mustache Mountain.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, someone new, up and coming in a sense, and you can give them a good rub from it. I think they could get a good push having a tag team. Because right now I feel the tag team titles are just being almost put away on layaway. They're on Undisputed Era. It's just an accessory for them. They're not really putting over the titles much. We need to see someone elevated with these titles. I think it will help this angle between Riddle and Bruiserweight, but then it will set up a lot of other things by having those titles.
Yeah,
Tag team titles.
I mean,
Fair.
I love seeing Riddle and Dunne together. I think, I think they make a really good tag team, and I could see them taking, the title at TakeOver. So
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, I've been saying this for a while now, but it's time to pull that gold away from that Undisputed Era,
Totally.
and that whole thing. I think is just kind of overdone now at this point.
Yeah, it's
and we'll
just
get
stale
into it. And like
at
this
point.
whole
Yeah.
this whole episode was full of Undisputed Era trying to find that next fight, and I think it definitely built up to the end of this episode where we have a brawl in the middle and we have a brawl at the end. And so we'll talk about it, but it gets really, this is like the beginning where we see a glimpse of like what can happen and where it's going.
Right.
Any other thoughts on this? It's just the beginning.
I just love it. I mean, it was great. Just action from the beginning. Of course, these two feuds, these teams have been going at it for a while. It's what you want to see. So it was exciting.
Yeah, it's a plan. It's planning something new and fresh.
Yeah.
Potentially, especially for TakeOver. That would be a big match. Dunne versus Riddle. I think that would be
Absolutely.
huge. For TakeOver WrestleMania weekend.
So the next thing coming up, the next match of the night is Garza and Isaiah Swerve Scott. And so we saw earlier this week that Garza totally decimated Rey Mysterio on Raw. There was a whole match where very crazy and an upset. And then so Garza wants this other title opportunity, and so now it's against Swerve. Right now, tonight, he wants this challenge for the Cruiserweight. So how do you feel about this match?
Well, here's the thing with my whole thing with Garza right now is it's very interesting to watch what is happening with him, because he won the title and then he lost the title right away, which threw me off. And then you see him go over to Raw now, which is like the bigger show. And then he just, decimates Mysterio. And obviously now he's back in NXT. It's like, so what are we doing with Garza? You know what I mean? It's very interesting. I mean, sky's the limit for the guy. I think he should have carried the title a little bit longer, but are we moving him maybe to Raw or, one of the bigger shows, or what are we doing?
He's a floater right now.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, he's got all the room in the world to do, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, my main question that you bring up is like, what do you do with Garza? Because they're kind of putting him in all these different spots.
Right.
And what do you think this means for him at TakeOver in Portland? Like, does he have a shot at it? Like, how do you feel about it?
Well, they got to pick a lane, but right now what they're trying to do is have him fill the void for Andrade. Right? On Raw. Someone's got a feud with Carrillo, and, Zelina introduced him on Raw. So I think he's going to be jumping between both shows. And he could be the champion. He could regain his title and still appear on Raw. I think it'd actually add him more legitimacy to the title if he's appearing with it on Raw. So you can do both. You can have him. He should get that title back. I felt it was pulled too quickly, and the guy's on a roll. He's getting over enough to be on both shows. I ride him hot, and I think it will give some prestige to that title if it's seen on Raw and it's back on him more so than anyone else.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about Swerve and the work that he's been doing?
Swerve's amazing, and he's another one of those guys where it's like the potential's there. He could, if they just catapult him, he can handle it as well. In this kind of match, like I say, it's always fun for me to watch because I love the high flying, the fast pace. Again, it was a back and forth match. It was always fun to watch and see the innovation that competitors like this bring to this kind of match, and so I enjoy the match. And Swerve, again, he can handle it the same way.
Yeah, I felt like Swerve was very focused tonight. He was just ready to fight. This was another opportunity for him to get in front of something that he wanted.
Absolutely.
But they can be fighting against each other. That's not a good booking because both guys need to be over separately. So Swerve getting pinned is not the best thing for him. He looks good in a ring with Garza. They can work both really well, but both need to be separated from each other because they both need to be built up on their own. I
will say, though, a pin from Garza isn't necessarily that bad. I think you can get away with that one with Garza because of the streak he's on right now.
True. Yeah, it's not like you're getting a job or something. Right. Garza's over right now. So, at least you're losing to someone that's definitely being pushed. Agreed with that.
Yeah.
Right.
So we see, as we talked about at the beginning, we have Undisputed Era that's kind of wreaking havoc in the locker room, trying to hunt down Ciampa, and cuts this poor guy's hair with...
Who's that dude? I want to know, man. What did this kid do? Did they pay him a day rate?
Man,
Is he getting 8 for 10 hours?
Right. Is it a haircut bump?
Some extra money. It was... so again, it's building up this, like, what is happening? They're hunting down, you know, this big fight, building to this big brawl in the middle of this episode.
I love this though, because it reminds me, it's like a throwback almost to, I mean, so many things back in the day. Even, you know, we have the NWO.
Yeah, totally. The bullying.
The bullying, just kind of like, I love that. It's so fun to watch, and it just, you know, obviously builds up that suspense, and then just to see the ruckus, you know, just picking on people and just, being bullies.
That's who they are. You know, and I think you need to show them more as, I mean, we get them kind of bullies in a ring, but we kind of need these backstage segments too with them as a group, you know, to kind of even put them more over as heels and bullies.
Yeah, I mean, I really loved this episode because you really had a lot of the story and the action-packed stuff happening behind the scenes and in the locker room, and I think that was really good to see. And I think it helped kind of establish this big pinnacle moment at the end.
Absolutely. And I want to say a quick shout out to the chat. What's up, Joseph Boza? How you doing, man? Antonio Banks. The normal, we got Charles Cernagle. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. What's going on, guys? But just want to give some love to you guys out there in the chat. Thank you for joining us.
Someone likes my jacket.
Thank you for tuning in. So we have all this Undisputed Era going crazy in the locker room, backstage. And then now we have one of your favorites. We have
boy.
Dijakovic and Killian Dane, the Beast of Belfast. And they're, you know, we see that, you know, Dane confronted Dijakovic at the PC. So again, they're building the story. And so again, we see that the last few weeks, Dijakovic has, you know, beaten Damian Priest, and
he's on a good stride.
He's on a really good streak.
He's getting pushed rightfully so.
What do you think this means for, like, the North American Championship?
I think it's great. I think it's going to add more credibility, more just relevance to it in general. And I think Dijakovic, you know, I said before, he's a great athlete. He's fun to watch, big, powerful guy. And then, I mean, the whole thing with Keith Lee, like their history together, which is cool. They've, you know, they're going to tear it down. They always put on good matches together. And just the chemistry that they have, that's going to be fun alone. And then this match was great too in itself. It was awesome. And I think it's cool that Dijakovic is getting that push.
Yeah, so what do you think, what did you think about the match?
I love that my boy's been getting a push, rightfully so. He's tearing people down.
I know you love him.
I've loved him from day one. Day one when he debuted, I called it. So on this show. But the thing is, I don't know if Keith Lee's the right guy. Even though they have chemistry, since day one, really, Keith Lee was the guy that he brought him in with. I just think that Keith Lee's on a roll. He just won the title. And my boy is just rolling through people. You don't want to have them go against each other because someone's momentum is going to be stopped at that point.
Well,
you know,
maybe. Unless
either
they have
Dominic's
this
going to lose the title, the title match, or Keith Lee, but Keith Lee can't really lose right now. I just think you put that off to later. You build both of them separately, still even more, so there's a collision. That's another WrestleMania takeover match for me.
I think you can
bring those two together.
I think you could probably keep it up until WrestleMania. Say, for instance, you keep this feud going, like either
but they
one
had a long time feud going already.
True.
It's like I think this needs to be culmination of their long time rivalry at TakeOver WrestleMania. I'd hold it off for now. Keep on building Dom. And keep on having Keith Lee, you know, go over people with the title. I just think it's too early. You don't need to do this at Portland.
Well, we still have a week or so. You know, one more NXT before the NXT TakeOver in Portland. You know, we're building to WrestleMania, as you said. So do you really?
But he's got the title shot. He already.
Yeah.
I basically.
So they are going to have the title shot.
They're going to have that match. I just think it's too early.
Right, but say they tear their house down, which we expect them to do, right? And it's a great match. Say Keith Lee retains.
Okay.
But then we get the rematch, and we build up from there, going into WrestleMania, build up the hype, the anticipation. Maybe have Dijakovic even just take down some more good opponents, you know, and just keep that build going. Yeah.
Do you see someone else taking Dijakovic's spot and?
No, it's
and
a spot.
I mean,
I don't think so.
But say after TakeOver, depending on what happens,
spot
is there some
isn't
other
what though? Like
challenging?
Like
is there another challenger
competitor?
that you see that could take Keith Lee?
I think it's a good spot for him right now, man. I think he's the one. I just
think that would be a good TakeOver WrestleMania because these guys have a built-in history. I think you're giving away too much in this sort of, I wouldn't say meaningless pay-per-view because it's obviously setting up for something, but I think like the Riddle versus BroserWeights, that should be a Mania TakeOver. This Keith Lee versus Dom should be a Mania TakeOver because these are big-time matchups with built-in kind of feuds. And I just think giving it away too early, even if you want to do a rematch, we've seen them fight already, right? This should be the big blow-off kind of match. This should be the big culmination. And I don't know how much you can run with this story all the way through Mania, especially if they have a match here. I think you could have done a different feud for now quickly and then built up that whole month and a half. I just think they're doing it reverse.
Yeah,
That's an interesting take.
It's an interesting spot to be in.
Yeah.
And I can see your side, Jim. I can. I think regardless, though, either way, it's going to be a fun ride. You know?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to put on a good match, no
Yeah.
question.
Exactly. Love Keith Lee. Rye Guy, do you want to give us a quick promo on why?
You got it. You got it,
Everyone's
Emily.
tuning in.
Ryan's doing promos?
You got it. I got
Yeah.
this quick promo. In the words of Thunderlips from Rocky 3,
Nice.
behold, Thunderlips in the flesh, baby.
Baby.
Yeah. The Ultimate Man versus the Ultimate Meatball.
Who's behind
And
you?
that's you guys in the chat. Please
who's
hit that
behind you?
like button, subscribe, comment, and rate us on iTunes. And it's for charity. It's for us too. So please, y'all, go in there. This is like putting salt in your hand and throwing it over your shoulder. I am all about hitting that like button, and we are going to get to 100 likes one of these episodes. We're going to do that Ice Bucket Challenge. So please hit that like, subscribe, and thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk.
Woo!
You're a
Thanks,
brave
Rye Guy.
man.
You're
You're a
the
brave man that
best.
wants to
Nice.
take
I'm
ice all
glad
over.
you didn't throw the salt shaker over and hit someone, so thank you for
Hey,
not.
what's going on in that studio? Who's behind you?
There's a lot of people back here.
Yeah,
A lot
I
of
want to
people
party over
doing
there.
their thing at
It's like Damian
AfterBuzz.
Priest at a club, man.
It's my bodyguard, and they
He has
smell
the
what the rock's
bodyguards.
cooking.
Hey,
Here's a good
King's Court.
Here's a good take
Just
right now in the chat, Antonio Banks. But I think we get Dream versus Cole for the title WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
okay, that could happen.
That's a good take.
I miss Velveteen Dream, so I'm so like, oh, today was that reveal was awesome. So again, we're gonna get back to it. So again, we have more Undisputed Era, kind of like
whole
breaking
show,
in, breaking in, hunting down Kushida, trying to throw him in trash cans.
Poor Kushida, man. He
I mean,
just
that's
kinda
a bury.
chilling.
That's
Like,
just-
they did bury.
People hate when I say buried. What else do you want to call it? The guy got dumped into a
rough.
dumpster, okay?
Literally.
Don't fall
Don't
for that.
recommend it. Don't recommend it. And then we have this like Balor and Johnny Gargano like quick little interview where they kind of have like the way I saw it was like a promo show off kind of battle of the promos here where they just are really angry at each other and they kind of are building this. Balor's like, I don't have a heart, and it was intense. What did you guys think of this? Do you think it's building to a big match?
Go for it, Jim.
I mean, I'd say bring a Demon, but he doesn't need Demon for Gargano. Come on, he can take him out. No, it's just pushing further the heel, character of Finn Balor that he's been going with. I think it's just kind of trying to separate the lines more because he still has a lot of fans. They're still popping for him when he comes out.
Totally.
So, I mean, Gargano is obviously a major babyface, so you need that more of a separation. So he tried to take that upon him, saying he's got no heart just to build more heat on himself there
Right.
versus Gargano. But Gargano, I
loved
thought
it.
was like yelling at him. He was like, "You better bring that!" Like, come on,
Hey,
Johnny,
I
that
would-
was weak,
You
man.
you have to bring it when you're like going
But it's
against
over the
Balor.
top.
It was an
Gargano.
intense promo. It was
Yeah.
It was
intense.
intense, but
You
I'll
could
give it to
tell.
him. I think he did a
He
good
tried.
job.
He tried.
I think he did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole no heart line. I mean, it's a villainous thing to
Yeah.
state. You
It
know what I
is.
mean? Like,
It
I
is.
am evil. I have no heart. Oh, and then you have the good guy like intense and coming at you. I mean, it's entertaining.
I mean, they'll put on a good match. I feel I think as much as I'm not a big Gargano guy, I think he can work. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
and so and then Balor we know definitely can. So it'll be a solid in-ring match.
Woo! I can't wait. So we have another big match tonight. We had Mercedes Martinez versus Kacy Catanzaro, the American Ninja star.
Yes.
And Mercedes Martinez is a veteran of the industry. She's been around for 20 years.
20 years, really?
Yeah,
It's like
long
20
time,
yeah,
19,
long
20
How old
years.
is she, man?
Long
Dude,
time.
It's a
look-
long time. She's been wrestling a
Damn.
really long time
Wow.
around the independent circuit. She's amazing. And so here we have two competitors, very different type of wrestling. Kacy has a gymnastics background and American Ninja Warrior. So what did you guys think of this match tonight?
I mean, it was very interesting. Like you said, complete contrast to styles, not only styles, but size as well. Big difference. I've met Kacy being a part of the Ninja Warrior crowd.
Yeah?
I was on set for one of the seasons and she was there. And,
tell some backstage stories.
She's super tiny, but the heart in that
I heard
woman
she is, right? Yeah.
She's super tiny. But I mean, she's got fight in her,
Oh, totally. You could see her like fighting spirit, every time she's in the ring.
Just the crazy aggression and strength of Martinez. That match, it was obviously one of those battles. It was going to be a battle for Kacy. It's going to be an uphill battle. She's going to have to use the speed that she has, the quickness, of course, the resilience that she has, which she did. It was a good match, but, obviously dominant was Martinez and she kicked butt. And I'm really liking what she's doing. I want to see her keep going up that rank to become like one of those fierce competitors that we see like Ripley or BelAir.
I don't know if she can get to that level.
Maybe she's got the
story's
potential.
been written on her, right, for 20 years apparently. So I want to talk about Kacy because I think she's got really an exciting thing. She's kind of the Ricochet, even though they're together.
Coincidence.
Yeah. But she's kind of like the Ricochet of NXT, and I feel like she's young. Like you said, she's got the Ninja Warrior background, so she's very athletic and he's got that strength to her. So I really want to see her push more because we barely I think she had an injury. She was out for a while. But I want to see her more featured and over. You see, in a match like this, she seems like she's just jobbing out in a sense to Martinez because they're pushing her over right now. But I want to see Kacy in a legitimate spot where she has a chance to actually showcase and get over.
So I kind of disagree. Where I feel like yes, she was in a type of match that we might have felt that she might have Kacy might have. Going against this veteran that she might lose, but I felt like it was a great match where she totally could highlight some of her gymnastic flexibility and flims. What are flims? Like flips, her flips, and kind of just that style and that energy that she brings. So I feel like I do agree that I feel like eventually she'll have that type of match where she can take a win.
Yeah, I think
she has to work her way up to it.
To agree with both your points, I absolutely, but I think we still need some more time with Kacy.
That's why I wouldn't feed her to Martinez right now because she's just gonna go over her.
We have the Mercedes fever right now. We're gonna take her in. We're gonna
put Kacy in with some other young up and coming, NXT developmental or whatever who they're trying to bring on a scene. I think that'll give a different vibe for you and perspective.
I think it would be interesting to see her with. I'm totally zoning on her name right now. She came out in the tank. She's fairly new, or at least a good push.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Shotzi Blackheart. Yeah. That would be interesting.
They're pushing her too.
That's true.
I just want Kacy with someone that's not being overly pushed. It's someone on her level right now that they're both trying to, make it in a sense. So I think that'll bring out the best of a newcomer and her because face it, we haven't seen much of her. We've seen glimpses of her. So I just don't think feeding her to people they want to put over right now is a good idea.
What about Flobo's girl? Why am I zoning on the names right now? Kaden Carter. Yes, there you go. Flobito.
Thing of the week.
Kaden Carter.
That
would be interesting. Kaden Carter too would be interesting.
Yeah.
She's kind of in that space.
You see, the thing is right now they're trying to push so many of these women, separately. So, and they're trying to place them in different feuds now leading up to the next, the WrestleMania takeover. Now I think we're set for Portland pretty much. But there's a lot of women. Dakota Kai. I mean, you have Tegan that's being pushed. I think there's a lot of being pushed right now. So I think maybe leaving off Kacy for a little bit until maybe after WrestleMania and start pushing her from the start and some of the other ones. They're trying to make it. And yeah, because you can't push everyone at the same time. Right. Not everyone's going to get over.
Totally get that. I get that perspective, and it's kind of like a chess game where, and it's like a long-term strategy chess game where they're like, okay, if we debut someone this time and then have this person come up, how are we switching things around? So it is like a difficult game to.
It's a good
play.
Problem to have. It's just a
bad
time of
and
the year.
And there's amazing women
bad time
to showcase.
Of the year.
Yeah, there's amazing women to showcase, so it's gonna be great, and they'll all figure it out.
Yes,
hopefully.
They're very good at that. Yeah,
hopefully.
So getting to this huge brawl again, the Undisputed Era is like looking for trouble tonight, causing trouble. So Ciampa finally comes out trying to attack the Undisputed Era. They have this big brawl. They it goes down in the ring, and then it's just a big old mess. It was just everyone decided to come out. What did you guys think of this little moment tonight?
Well, kind of like, I said in the beginning, I loved it. I'm a guy that just loves the chaos, just this fight. Let's go, let's get it.
It was a brawl.
I loved how Ciampa just in the back, how he just, when they were looking for him, how he just came out and just
like,
started fighting. I was like, yes, like that's what I like to see. I like just the whole aspect of, and we can fight anywhere in the arena. Just keep it raw, dirty. Yeah. It's fun that way. I really liked it.
I thought they were going to go to other places at Full Sail University. Yeah. I thought they were like, well, okay, where else can we go?
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, let's see the university. Let's see the facilities.
Right. Give us a tour.
I want a tour. I loved it. So, all right. So we had this other big match. We have Jordan Devlin, the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, versus Tyler Breeze.
Yes.
This was a surprise matchup for me. I really enjoyed it. But how do we feel about this? Devlin had in this match had a tough time. Tyler Breeze is going at him. Devlin's hurt, and so he's kind of feeling the effects of this during the match, and he's kind of playing little dirty schemes with the posts and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's a lot of dirty moves that were happening during this match. So, what do you think about it when you break it down?
I think so. I'm kind of foreshadowing a little bit for later, so I won't say a whole too much right now. But
come on, here's the thing
with with Jordan Devlin, man. Okay, so for me, he kind of came out of nowhere for me. I mean, I know he's been doing his thing for a while, but with him taking the title with Garza, I wasn't really happy about that. I didn't think, at that moment, one, that should happen, and then two, it shouldn't necessarily went to him, But I will say this, after giving him a chance and watching him, the guy is aggressive, he's quick, he's talented, and he's good at what he does. So I give him that credit where it's due. And again, going against Tyler Breeze, I mean, he's a veteran of the game. Like they've said, he's crafty. He brought it. I don't think there was ever a point in this match where one person had the advantage too long. It was very back and forth, which I enjoyed.
It felt very balanced and a nice balance back and forth where they both could do offense and defense. And
their skill sets are both, very stacked, and they really showed it. They really showcased what they can do. They complemented each other. I think those styles, as we've mentioned before, Breeze, man, he's very good. He can go with anyone. And I think, too, it looked great for Jordan. It was a good match for him, especially being the new champion. So.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I think that unlike the other guys, they're gals or girls that they're pairing, they're one, they're putting one over the other, and one's not on the same level. I think this was a perfect matchup because Breeze can work with most people on this roster.
Yeah.
And he can put over guys. He doesn't need to go over. So this is a good guy to not only to learn from, but put a quality match with, and someone that will make you look good. I think Breeze will make a lot of people look good, and I thought that was the right guy to put him for tonight, to have Devlin kind of showcase his skills and be able to go over and have Breeze there, who's still over himself. It's not like he's totally some job or anything.
Yeah,
so I just think that's the kind of guy you got to put him with. I wish I didn't push him that quick, Devlin. At this point, he shouldn't have taken that title off of Garza.
Right.
That was too quick. But if they're going to make that move, let's see him push then. Go ahead with it.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed like you said, the contrasting styles. And I feel like they both complemented each other really well tonight. And it was really entertaining to watch. So
yeah, absolutely.
There was some chops and some drop kicks that I was like, ooh, those look like they hurt.
The super kicks to the face.
Super kicks to the face, pretty epic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, so okay, so this wasn't quite a match, but we had this confrontation between Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and then we had this big entrance with Charlotte popping into NXT.
Woo!
Woo! She did the NXT woo!
Right.
So, again, Charlotte shows up looking to cause some trouble, saying that Rhea has overlooked Bianca for this challenge to the title. And then Rhea comes out kind of defending Bianca and is like to Charlotte, do not disrespect us in our house. And I feel like that was a powerful message, the We Are NXT message. So what do you guys think of this? And then they did the huge drop to Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, for one, I think it's awesome having Charlotte back in NXT. That's a big deal on its own. But I do find it interesting that Ripley did defend Bianca, and I guess that shows that unity in the NXT brand. But at the same time, you have 3 phenomenal athletes. That's just. I get excited to see them in the ring, and then that little taste we had watching them at the Rumble with Bianca and Flair.
Exactly.
That was awesome, super awesome. And I'm actually really happy about this because I will be honest, when Flair won the Rumble, I was pissed. I was like, really? I was like, are we going to see? We were just talking about. I was like, are we going to see Becky and Flair again? Yeah, I was like, are we going to do this again? Like,
well, what's interesting is you're getting the trifecta of athletes right here. You have three amazing athletes that are all in different points in their careers and in their storylines. And
True.
We're gonna get a Bianca and Rhea Ripley match. We're looking forward to that. But it's interesting how they're gonna work in Charlotte.
I say we take this to Mania as a triple threat match. Let's do all 3 at Mania. Let's do that.
Predictions.
Yes, let's do it. And then I say we
happen.
bring in Baszler with Becky at Mania. Baszler, because I've been wanting to see that, and I'm pissed she didn't win the Rumble.
happen.
Baszler and
But they're not
Becky
going
would
to put
be
in
good.
Bianca in that match. It's going to be a one-on-one. There's no way they're not going to. Listen, they've been pushing her, but she's not that over for them to put her in a triple threat at Mania with
think
Charlotte.
it's possible, man. I think
you're
it's
going to have the
possible.
one-on-one Charlotte and Ripley, kind of the 2 towers colliding in that sense, because I just think I don't think they're surprise me, but I don't think Bianca is their pick to go into Mania in a triple threat match. I don't think they're valuing her at this point.
The potential is
sure,
definitely
she's
there.
got potential for sure to be a champion. She, on that roster.
Well, I'm
she
not saying
should've.
even necessarily if she won. I'm just saying just that potential of her as a star, as someone people love in NXT.
I think she'll work her way up. But
No question,
maybe
but not at
this
WrestleMania.
year.
They're not going to put
Maybe
her in
not
that
this year.
match. No.
All right, so we have one really big match, one surprise match, the 6-man tag team match that happened at the end of the evening, the BroserWeights, and then Ciampa got in there against Undisputed Era, and this turned into a crazy, again, another crazy brawl, a great showcase, building this story. But then we had the biggest reveal of the night, Velveteen Dream.
Boom.
The man of my dreams is back. What do you guys think about this? Really quickly, what do you guys think about this?
We got like 4 minutes.
We have
some
4
time on
minutes.
that.
We got some time.
I thought it was
Velveteen
awesome.
Dream.
It's good
This
to have
new
him.
look. He has a new look, a new style, kind of a whole new aura about him. Are you guys excited?
I mean, yeah, and I think it's awesome. I think having Velveteen Dream back is obviously something. It's fresh. It's new.
Yeah.
He's obviously over like crazy. People love him. And I think it's going to change up that mix now. And I think we're seeing, like I said, that shift of that Undisputed Era, that whole team. It's time to get rid of it. And I think this is that way of showing it's slowly kind of happening. We already had Strong lose the title. We're going to see the tag team titles change hands pretty soon.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully next it's Cole, because I'm rooting for Ciampa, and I say Ciampa take that dang
Ciampa
title.
has been doing so well.
Let's little by little chop away, and this group goes away.
Yeah, and Adam Cole did the whole spray paint on Ciampa, and it was just like, it was so symbolic, and I think they're going to continue this momentum.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously aside from all that stuff, after the match itself, of course, was great. You know what I mean? You have Riddle, you have Ciampa, you have the stars, and they're just battling out.
So emotional.
Right. It was very emotional. There was just a lot of same thing. Top talent going at it, telling that story during that match, back and forth. Good guys versus the bad guys. I think
it's a classic story.
Right.
It's all, they're putting all the perfect elements together to make a perfect story, to make a perfect lead up to TakeOver.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's my opinion. I know you probably think differently.
What are you laughing about, Jim?
Man.
What are you laughing about,
let's
dude?
do
You're gonna pull the rug on me again?
Let's do quickly our punk rock pin of the night.
Yes. What's going on, guys? David, Punk Rock Christopher here with your Punk Rock pin of the night. So this week I am picking Jordan Devlin versus Tyler Breeze. And I'm picking that because I feel these are two athletes. One, you have this veteran who's been in the game for a long time. With Tyler Breeze, skill set is awesome. He can definitely showcase and help get anyone over, but he told a great story in the match. We have this new, young, hungry champion, Jordan Devlin, came in here with something to prove, and he did. Again, skill set phenomenal, very fast paced, aggressive, in your face, took it to Breeze. The match itself was just awesome. It went for quite a while, so respect to the cardio in that. But again, it was very entertaining, kept the pace up, back and forth. Obviously, by the end of the night, we have Jordan Devlin taking the pin, getting the win. But again, no discredit to Tyler Breeze. Put up a great fight, great performance by both athletes. So that is this week's Punk Rock Pin of the Night.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So that's pretty much our show tonight. We're, on the road to TakeOver, on the road to WrestleMania. We're going to have so much happening the next few weeks. So please continue to join us. Jim, where can we find you? People can find you.
Well, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to be taking over to AEW after the show.
Traitor!
No. They need some influx of The Jim Alexander.
They need some real Jim in there, man.
That's where you can find me, at The Jim Alexander, realtalker.com. That's REEL talker.com.
Awesome. Where can people can find you?
And you can find me every Wednesday here, of course, AfterBuzz TV NXT panel. You can find me on Instagram at David_Christopher_official or on Fit TV Network. Make sure you guys check it out, guys.
Awesome. And you can find me on all social media platforms at Emily May Heller. I appreciate you watching our NXT After Show. Thank you for joining us. Buzz ya later.
Good night, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.